Side quests have a huge range in quality. They're sometimes thought of as filler, occupying the player on the way to the next main storyline beat. But side quests can be so much more. They can be memorable, enriching the game's world with unique experiences, designs, and identities. The Washington Post's video game team launcher took a look at some of the best side quests in video games to see what makes them stick with players for generations. Here's the definition we're going with to determine which side quests we'll be looking at. We disqualified separate modes within games, so things like Final Fantasy X's Blitzball and Witcher 3's Gwent are out. Also out are quests that the game's devs heavily encourage players to experience, like Mass Effect 2's loyalty missions. Finally, we took into account multiple factors: gameplay mechanics, memorability, how unique the quest is, and how the quest helps inform themes in the narrative. So without further ado, here is our analysis of 11 of the most memorable video game side quests out there. Every man has a right to change, a chance of forgiveness. These are the words that John Marston lives by as he navigates a world on the verge of leaving the Wild West of the 1800s behind. He's a man looking to correct the wrongs of his past and guide those who have similarly lost their way. California features Sam Odessa, a man looking to make it to California to complete his family's 3-generation-long dream to migrate from the Black Sea to the West Coast. Players have to search for Sam Odessa several times across the open-world map without a quest marker, until eventually they find his corpse, and a letter revealing how Sam left his wife and son behind in the middle of the night due to the guilt he felt in completing his family's 3-generation-long dream.
I'm gonna make something of myself there. I'm gonna find something.
California is a wonderful side quest that gets players to naturally explore the open world map while connecting them to the plight main character John Marston feels. In a world set to leave those who inhabit it behind, every man has a right to change, a chance for forgiveness. Marvel's Spider-Man series are games with open worlds that are just begging to be explored. Never before has traversal in a game felt so snappy, proving that even the journey can be as enticing as the destination itself. In Miles Morales, you can find sound samples, which are collectibles that will all come together to form a mixtape crafted by Miles' uncle and father. Searching for these soundtracks is not only a clever way to naturally get players to take in the environment, it's a way for the game's rich sound design to really shine. Not only that, but voice clips of Uncle Aaron after finding each sound sample provides players with critical context to his transformation into Prowler, and serves as a backdrop for the fracturing relationship between him and Miles' father. Your reward for completing the mix is one of the coolest suits in the game, but just the journey of going through this side quest is reward enough.
Didn't want you to turn out like me. Hope this suit helps you be better.
The best side quests typically offer big rewards that reverberate throughout the game, and no side quest exemplifies that more than Rex Family Armor from Mass Effect. After revealing a troubling family past and history with his father, gruff mercenary Rex asks Shepard to acquire ancestral family armor. While it's pretty useless and doesn't offer any value beyond normal armor, it means a lot to Rex, and Shepard helping him reclaim the armor symbolizes Rex's growing trust of other races in the galaxy. The player's reward? They get to keep Rex alive throughout the Mass Effect trilogy, because Shepard is able to talk him down from mutiny by reminding him of the armor. Not only is Rex one of the best and funniest characters in the trilogy,
don't piss in my ear and tell me it's raining,
but keeping him alive gives critical context to the plight of the Krogan people. Whether or not he's alive to eventually lead his people will drastically color your opinion on the genophage, which is a sterility plague, and whether or not the Krogan deserve to be redeemed.
I don't like this, but I trust you enough to follow your lead.
What happens if you take the plot of The Hangover and combine it with one of the best RPGs of all time? Well, you get A Night to Remember from Skyrim.
I thought you might not remember your first trip here.
In it, the player ends up on the entire other side of the world map after a night of drinking. The player has to uncover clues about the antics you got into while you were blacked out, and solve just how to get back to where you were. A Night to Remember is a pretty obvious ploy to show the players just how expansive the world is. It also speaks to the quirkiness of Skyrim's world through humorous dialogue and hugely unexpected outcomes.
You kidnapped her and sold her to that giant. You're damn right it does. I'll never breed another prize-winning goat like Gleda.
A Night to Remember is clever in its design because it highlights an understated way that players naturally engage with the game. Skyrim's strength is its ability to create a natural wanderlust in its players, with them observing the environments and making their own conclusions about the history of the world they're seeing. Final Fantasy VII was a renaissance for role-playing games when it first released worldwide in 1997. While the total number of party members you control fluctuates from game to game, 7 did something unique in that it offered 2 secret party members that were entirely missable. One of these characters, Vincent Valentine, is deeply connected to the events of the main plot. By recruiting him, you not only gain a powerful party member with the capability to transform into various monsters, but you learn more about the scientists responsible for creating Sephiroth, as well as the villain's mysterious upbringing. Vincent later got his own spin-off game to further explain the events this side quest references. That's how important it is. It's almost astonishing he might not appear for certain players' run-throughs. The Yakuza series is an over-the-top sandbox where the hilarity never stops. The series' incredible amount of side content called sub-stories have a crazy range of gameplay mechanics, from genre-bending satire to just plain strange. But perhaps the best sub-story can be found in the first game in the Yakuza timeline. In Disciple of the New Order, Majima, on the behest of a grieving mother wanting to get her seemingly brainwashed daughter back, has to infiltrate a cult that has more than a few strange qualities.
Good.
After some dialogue choices and a fight with the head guru, Majima successfully rescues the daughter, who reveals to her mother that the reason she joined the cult, on her own free will, was in a vain attempt to revive her recently deceased father. The two's reconciliation scene highlights what makes the Yakuza series work. Yes, humorous absurdity is at the forefront, but the game's emotionally heartfelt moments are the narrative glue that holds things together. During the N64 era, Nintendo was tasked with following up one of their all-time classics, Ocarina of Time, in under 2 years. With the tight turnaround demanded of them, the developers decided to reuse assets. Instead of constructing a brand new classic adventure, they wanted to create something that felt markedly different. The result? Majora's Mask, a game with a 3-day time loop mechanic that centers on grief and the hope for redemption. Throughout the game, Link helps Termina's various inhabitants move on and overcome their feelings of regret. The most complicated of these quests is Anju and Cafe, a tragic tale of 2 lovers plagued by a curse and desperately seeking a way to reunite before the world ends. Players have to go through the events in a complicated, specific order at certain times of the 3-day cycle. It naturally teaches players the importance of planning your days carefully and choosing your routes for your limited amount of time. The tragedy of Anju and Cafe's story is that they find redemption, overcome their grief, and reunite. But their time is short, as it only happens on the final day, in the final hour. It perfectly highlights the themes in the main narrative, and mechanically takes full advantage of Majora's Mask's 3-day game loop. The Witcher 3 is considered by many to be the pinnacle of RPG games, and it's for a good reason. The vast world is oozing with content, some of which offers some of the most iconic scenes in gaming. One such mission is The Last Wish, which pairs Geralt and Yennefer as they try to hunt down a djinn. Later, it's revealed that Yennefer actually wanted to hunt down the djinn to test the true strength of her and Geralt's complicated feelings for each other. The Last Wish solidifies the relationship between the two characters, providing charming insights to their past while hinting at greater things in the future. The banter between them is entertaining to watch.
Mind if I take the helm?
I got a choice.
No.
And the quest leads to one of the most iconic romance scenes of all time.
When are you gonna finally burn this piece of junk?
My heart couldn't take it.
The Last Wish doesn't just provide a difficult fight with the djinn, it's a testament to the writing of the game, revealing the many levels of nuance to Yennefer and Geralt's characters. Kingdom Hearts is a series that offers the seemingly unreal mashup of Disney and Final Fantasy characters in one connected universe. But one of the most prolific of these characters only appears in a side quest connected to the fighting Coliseum in Hercules' world. Sephiroth, voiced by Lance Bass of all people, presents one of the most difficult fights in the Kingdom Hearts series.
Heal!
Come. To be one.
Heal!
Fighting Sephiroth shows the complexities of Kingdom Hearts' battle system. It's easy to understand, but hard to master. You could just try mashing X to get through the fight, but recognizing Sephiroth's powerful attack patterns and capitalizing on his openings is going to take a lot more effort.
Meet your fate.
Disco Elysium is simultaneously one of the funniest and most depressing games of all time, with an overwhelming amount of dialogue options within each conversation. The consequences to each of your choices is varied and has wild range, but no consequence tops the one to take on La Responsabilité, one of the new political vision quests introduced in the remaster. In most games offering choices, choosing one of two extremes usually leads to the best results, with the central, more neutral option being a failsafe should a player not want to commit to either. But Take on La Responsabilité flips this design principle on its head, instead offering a big consequence to players who refuse to take a side. The Moral Intern, a centrist political group that are almost entirely disconnected to the issues plaguing Revachol, offers to remove the main character from the area entirely, and leads to an actual ending of the game.
Weeks later, no answers about extracted cop.
It's a poignant demonstration of how sometimes refusing to pick a side can come up with even worse consequences, and more people being grounded by the forces up in power. Tarrytown in Breath of the Wild is a perfect microcosm for the game as a whole. It's a series of tasks that will stretch throughout the entirety of the experience, as you look to rebuild a town by uniting several different races, each offering their own knowledge and skill sets to improve the area. With each new addition to the town, you're uniting several different elements of this massive open world into one peaceful melding of cultures. Subtle elements like the different musical instruments getting added to the main track whenever you invite a new villager are nice touches. It all adds to this feeling of progression and optimism throughout the long-dead kingdom of Hyrule. Sure, its best days are behind it, but Tarrytown proves that the world, with a little help from the player, has the potential to grow into something better.